Hello, everybody. Hopefully, I am on. It's happened before where I've started a stream and I've gone like 15 minutes, and then someone's like, "Is there a mic on?" And I'm like, "I've been talking to myself." But yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Hello, Gavin. Hello, Bronzeleaf. Hello, anyone else who might be in the stream. We're going to be doing... Yay, you can hear and see me. That's always good to know. But, we're gonna be, doing a Pokemon Family again today because it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I did animation all of August, and so it's about time we jump back into, some families. Let me see if I can expand this. We are in Hoenn, as you can see, and we're down at the Taillow line. So let's give this little birdie a gander and see if we can get some inspiration from it. Bronzeleaf said, "I've never been to a Pokemon Family stream. Hyped because Taillow is one of my favorite Pokemon. That's awesome. Taillow is a good bird. My sister has a shiny Swellow. It's the only shiny she's ever got. But it's the tiny Swallow Pokemon. Let's see. It's got guts. It's only a foot tall. It's a tiny thing. Very cute. Okay, I like to read the biology, usually for these families. So I'm going to start with that. Taillow is a small bird Pokemon with dark blue feathers. A red marking with pointed tips stretches from its chest to its forehead, and it has a white underside. It has narrow brown eyes and a short yellow beak. It has elongated wing tips and black feet with yellow talons. Each foot has 3 toes facing forward and 1 backward. 2 sharply pointed feathers form its tail. Taillow is very gutsy and will stand up to powerful opponents without backing down. During the cold season, this Pokemon will fly over 180 miles, 300 kilometers per day to search for areas that have warm climates. It typically hunts Wurmple, but flocks have also been shown eating crops in the anime. When it is hungry, it will weaken and cry loudly. Looks like Ash had a Taillow at one point. So this is another instance where it talks about Pokemon eating other Pokemon. I like this Emerald entry that says, although it is small, it is very courageous. It will take on larger Skarmory on an equal footing. However, its will weakens if it becomes hungry. It dislikes cold seasons. They migrate to other lands in search of warmth. It has only just left its nest. A lot of these entries talk about how Taillow is very young, how it only just left its nest. Let's see. Gavin said, liked the Trico picture you made. I also find it funny that you're basically drawing Briar and her companion. That's right. Oh man. I just posted Briar, and now I'm drawing Nimbus. What was her companion's name? Shoot. Whatever. I'll if Mao shows up, she'll correct me. I think it was like Nimbus or something. It was some kind of cloud, I think. But she's a good burb. And then next week, if I do another family, it'll be the pirates that are going on right now. Taillow is a good bird. Food gives the bird strength. Yes, food also gives me strength. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I like to have the references up Let me take a quick look at its back sprite. Sometimes they have secrets in the back. No, it's just all black. Or whatever this blue tinge is. Alright, let's look at the Swellow. It's a swell fellow. The Swallow Pokemon. This guy, it's only 2 feet tall. I always thought that these Pokemon were a little bigger. The fully evolved birds, since you get to fly on them, so I always assumed they were like big boys. But wow, Swellow is small. Swellow is a large, dark blue bird Pokemon with a red breast and face. A crest of feathers sweeps back from the top of its head. A blue stripe separates the red markings on its head and chest. It has a white underside. It has small, narrow eyes, a pointed yellow beak, and red feet with black talons. Each foot has 3 forward-facing toes and 1 pointed backward. 2 long, pointed feathers with red tips form its tail and are an indication of good health when standing up straight. Swellow's wings taper to a sharp point. An impressive dive bomber, it will never miss its target. Additionally, it takes great pride in its glossy plumage and often cleans the wings of other Swellow. It searches for warm meadows while in the air. Swellow prey on Wurmple. Alright, gotta eat those Wurmple. Swellow flies high above our heads, making graceful arcs in the sky. This Pokemon dives at a steep angle as soon as it spots its prey. The hapless prey is tightly grasped by Swellow's clawed feet, preventing escape. Swellow is very conscientious about the upkeep of its glossy wings. Once 2 Swellow are gathered, they diligently take care of cleaning each other's wings. A Swellow dives upon prey from far above. It never misses its target. It takes the skies in search of lands with warm climate. If its 2 tail feathers are standing at attention, it is proof of good health. It soars elegantly in the sky. Hello, Ardomew. Ardomew says that becomes a running gag in Explorers of Time Darkness. Poor Team Tasty. Oh, man. Wurmple are one of the squishiest looking bug Pokemon, in my opinion. It circles the sky in search of prey, dive bombs. Pretty straightforward. Just 2 good birds. Let's see. Swellow makes a good candidate for a Phoenix Wright Pokesona. It's got that kind of swept back hair. Can't get a good picture of its wing. Oh, there it is. Its wing open. It's pretty cool. Take a screenshot of that. And of that. Alright. And what I like to do is I just kind of grab the 3 of them, open with preview, and I can scroll through them. Let's see. Gavin says, I've actually seen that before. Seen that before. What's that again? Sorry, my memory is rather bad. I will forget something that I've said 2 seconds ago. So I kind of want to take a quick gander at some of the bird families that I've done so far, because it's been a while since I've done the Pokemon families, and the birds, I feel like Taillow is rather a normal looking bird, and some of the ideas I'm having for it I think I've done before. So here's one, the Murkrow line. They're kind of just walking together. I like this one. This one came out good. Where is it? Stacked. So I've already done stacked. I've done walking. There's one, I think it's the Firo line that, yeah. So I kind of had the idea of the, cause Taillow is a baby, but it always talks about how it's gutsy and how it likes to pick fights or whatever, or it'll stand up to a big dude. So I kind of had something like this in mind, but since I've already done it, I might try something else. And then this is the OG. Back then, a lot of the times I'll have like 2 of the Pokemon interacting, and then one of them just kind of off on the side. Is that all the bird Pokemon? Relatively speaking. Yeah. Let me see what I can do. It looks like I haven't done many flying pictures for the birds. So, that's good. I might do something like that. Okay, let's do a sketch, shall we? So first I like to start with just... Oh, Bronzeleaf suggests munching on a Wurmple. So I do try to keep... There are a few rules that I kind of follow with these Pokemon families. One of them is I want to try to get as much of the Pokemon, the full body of the Pokemon as much as possible. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but that's something I keep in mind when I compose them. Another rule is obviously the size. All of the Pokemon families are the same compositional, same, what is it called? Canvas size. So that it's, it looks like a series. Some Pokemon, like the Chikorita line, I really wanted to do portrait, so like taller than it is wide, but since all of them have to be landscape, it forced me to do it differently. And sometimes being forced to do something a certain way generates it, like it pumps up the creativity because you have to work around limitations. Whereas if you can just do whatever, sometimes I just kind of do what's the path of least resistance and whatever's easiest to get done. And sometimes it ruins my creativity because then there's too many options and I can't think of anything. So the other rule is I try not to have other Pokemon in a picture with families. There may have been 1 or 2 instances where I break that rule. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do try to keep that as a thing. I might go back and review my finished families and see which ones, if any, have broken that rule. But yeah, otherwise I'd be super down to doing a Taillow eating a worm pole, because I'm quite into the circle of life thing where Pokemon eat other Pokemon. It just seems like a natural thing, but it also feels very not in line with the Pokemon universe where everyone can be friends and stuff. Um so yeah, that's always been an interesting thing for me to explore. Okay, so that's a Taillow. I just like to do a sketch of the Pokemon as they look in their official design, just so I can get an idea. It makes me think of how in Smoochum's dex entry it says it explores the world with its lips. It like sees with its lips or something, or it likes to, it looks like it's kissing things, but actually its lips are the most sensitive thing, so it likes to explore with them. Well, I like to explore with my pen, so I don't fully understand a thing until I've figured out how to draw it. And so here I am drawing it. Interesting. Swallow has a bit of a finger sticking out on its wing. The rest of its wing feathers like curl backwards, but it's got this one that sticks out. Which again is kind of funny, because in Ace Attorney you got a lot of hand slapping on desks, but you also have a lot of pointing. And that big finger seems very, very good for pointing, if I do say so. Okay. Birds are always difficult for me to draw. I have never yet figured out a way to draw birds properly, easily, I should say. Let's see. Artemuse says, yeah, real life doesn't work like the anime. Bronzeleaf says, bird babies. Gavin says, remember that one time Ash tried to use a Caterpie against a Pidgeotto? What a digital dummy. Artemuse says, I've had swallows live near my home, so I'm very acquainted with these birds. That's awesome. Swallows are one of the few birds that I can sort of pick out because of their distinct wing and tail shape. Funny enough, in when I was on, what was it called, Pottermore, and getting my Patronus, it turned out I have a Swift as my Patronus. And when I was looking it up, a Swift is a bird that's very much related to a swallow. And then the other day, well, I say the other day, like maybe a month or two ago, on the comics server, one of the members was having some fun and doling out government assigned personas based on our personalities. And I asked for one because, you know, it's fun to be for basically strangers to peg you down. We're not like complete strangers, but we're not necessarily friends. It's like an acquaintance sort of deal where we are aware of each other's presence. And I gotta say, she got me pretty well. And in the description, because she had a little, it was really fun. She had a little blurb for each person, and at the end would say like governmentally assign you a persona. And without knowing my Patronus or anything about what animals or like, you know, sonas that I've personally assigned, she said I was a swallow. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Never would have thought of myself as a swallow, but it does match my Patronus. And thus far, I wasn't very happy with my Patronus. I'm like, well, it's just a bird. But after that, I was like, maybe there's something to it. Also, I don't necessarily tend to think of birds when I think of fursonas, so it was also a surprise to me there. I kind of was wishing for a mammal of some kind. But anyway, I'm gonna do the first thing that came to my mind, which I don't know how to. There we go. Trying to get it to swipe without clicking off. But I'm gonna do the whole mama bird thing where baby bird is hungry and crying, you know. I might have to look up reference of what the inside of a bird's mouth is. I'm a little scared because you don't often see a bird from that angle, and I gotta say, when my friend showed me the inside of a penguin's mouth, I was very unhappy. The interesting thing about drawing a Taillow is they're a little bit out of proportion, but it's like on purpose. Because Taillows and swallows, their heads are very big. Like, they have unproportionately large faces and eyes to the rest of their body. And that's just how they are. So I guess in a way it's proportionate, but it just looks unproportionate. So I kind of imagine its wings are not unfurled, but slightly out. Yeah, I'm hungry, it's saying. Yeah, I try not to do something like a gimmick that I've done before, like same pose or whatever. And as I go further, it gets a little more difficult because I tend to forget what I've done for the other families. Hello, colorful chimera. You know, when I'm not seeing your name, I always want to say chimera for some reason, and but having colorful before chimera reminds me that it's a hard C sound because of the alliteration. Without that colorful part, I always go to chimera. Hope you're doing well. It's rare to see Nicks on stream because they've said their phone doesn't work very well. The Wi-Fi is rather bad. And I have the Twitch app on my phone. It does not like audio at all. Like, if you plug in headphones, the audio suddenly gets really, really low. Nerd. Sup, nerd? Artemu says swallows are noisy. Artemu said feather sonas. I guess that's what you would call them, yeah. Instead of fur, because they don't have fur. Gavin says, birds are amazing. Definitely my favorite animals. Gavin says, I love chickens. I want chickens. Oh, a friend of mine asked me what, like, dream animal you would want, like, as a pet. Or a dream pet, I guess. And I said goat for some reason because I couldn't think of any other animal that I would, like, really want. And goats seem like cool dudes. But, I forgot about chickens. I really want chickens. Which seemed like a lot of, outdoor work to, like, clean and maintain their pen and all that. But can you imagine having eggs every day, like, fresh from the chicken butt? Just like a replenishable resource. I don't know if I'll go with this necessarily. I don't think I have enough room for the other, bird. Maybe if I shrink him a little bit. Yeah, and then I'll have, let's see, I want to keep their heads the same, I think. Can't get it to go back down. I love Swellow's really flat head. It's a unique, shape. Don't want to lose those kind of small details. Because otherwise, I just end up drawing, like, a normal bird. Which is boring. It's like the bird Pokemon are unique to each other. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this one. I'm just gonna end that there because they kind of aren't interacting. I'd love to have Swellow sort of holding a Wurmple and, like, dangling it over, Taillow, but, yeah, I don't know. I still kind of want to do a flying. Oh, Wingull will definitely need to be flying. Another thing with these Pokemon families, and it's not a rule per se, but I do try to sort of find ways to depict the Pokemon that I don't normally see. Like for Ninetales, the Ninetales family, I decided to do a baby Ninetales because I read the Dex entry and it said that the babies are born with one white tail. And as they grow, the tail splits. And until it has like 6 of them. I was like, wow, I never knew that. That's a very interesting factoid. And so I decided to depict that. I'm gonna look up what a swallow looks like when it's in flight. Maybe that'll spark something. Swallow. Nick says, nah, I stole the computer. Twitch don't like me at all. Tails raised the chicken once. It was an indoor chicken. Oh, that sounds awesome. Fresh from the chicken butt. Gavin said, I had a bunch of chickens, but now we're down to just one and my parents aren't buying anymore. I mostly like them because they're just cute and big, although eggs are also nice. But you got me drawing my Taillow babies. Now you got me drawing my Taillow baby. Yay! Yay! Yeah, you guys, if you got a setup that allows you to do it, I'd love it if you guys would draw along with me. I know I'm not one of the fastest drawers around. I do my best, but you know, sometimes it takes a while to get an idea going, and so we're here for a while, and if you can utilize this time and sort of be productive with me, that'll be awesome. And let me know what you're working on if you do end up working on stuff. I'm kind of thinking forward right now into the next month. It's September, and ever since I graduated from college, I've been participating in Inktober. And so September ends up being sort of a preparational month for me. I've purchased... so, like, I have all the supplies that I would need for Inktober. But whenever it comes around, it gives me an excuse to like buy something that I don't necessarily need, but I've been wanting to try, or like something new, some new inking supply, and also like notebooks, even though I don't need them. So my first Inktober round, I went out and I bought a what's it called? A Pentel pocket brush. It's a refillable, well, it uses cartridges, so technically it's not like refillable, but we can reuse the base. And it's been pretty good. I'm not a big fan of pocket brush pens. It turns out I'm not good at using brush pens to line. But hold on, let me try and get this in. But it's great for like filling in large areas of black, and it gives a good, nice, really cool dry brush effect without having to pull out actual ink and actual brushes. So I like keeping it around. So I went out and I bought refills for that. I think I'm all out, so I got 2 more. One cartridge usually lasts me a whole month if I use it non-stop. And since I don't really use it non-stop at all, it lasts a long time. What else? And then I went online and I bought myself a fountain pen. I finally got myself a fountain pen. That's something that I've been sort of... Oh, I drew it wrong! Why wouldn't they base the wings on a swallow? I can't. The more I try to say these names, the more I get confused. Because, like, swallow and Taillow are based off a swallow. But it's not like you're swallowing something. It's a swallow as in the bird. But then, like, the Pokemon is just a swallow. So, like, the name is too similar. I don't know. I'm already kind of bad at words. Help me out, Pokemon. Don't do this to me. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like I've always watched these artists on YouTube who like ink with fountain pens, and I like the idea that you can buy a converter and just refill it with ink. I got myself a Lamy Safari pocket fountain pen, And so normally what I use to ink is microns. I get, oh shoot, what size do I have? I think it's like the .01, the .01 micron. That's the one that I like to ink with, and then it like when it runs out, I have to buy a new one, which is like $3 or something. And I go through them quite fast. So with the fountain pen, even though it's like really expensive up front, the Lamy is rather cheap. It's a I think it's a $30 pen, almost $30, which is rather cheap compared to other fountain pens, which can run you like 50 to hundreds of dollars. And then you get the ink, but then like the ink lasts for many refills. So I kind of wanted to get into that. And also, since the ink can't be left in the pen for like a super long time without being used, I'm hoping it encourages me to continue to draw daily with pen even after Inktober. At least that's my hope. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be using for Inktober this year. Is anyone else doing Inktober this next month? Nick says, funny enough, Taillow and Swallow are based on scissor-tail swallows, which are Oklahoma's state bird. Huh. Let me look up scissor-tail swallow. Their wing, their tails definitely look like that. Yep. Wow, they're really long. But in terms of color, it doesn't match as well. Because the scissor tail swallow that I'm looking at is mostly white. Gavin said, well, I have paper and pencil pen. I suck at at digital, lol. Hey, that's all good. Whatever suits your fancy. I know a lot of people who prefer digital and can't do traditional. Everyone just has something that they work better in. I feel like the angle is bad, so I'm gonna do something I almost never do and flip the drawing and try to course correct. You know, one of the reasons I barely ever draw flying birds for these is because their wingspans are so long. And I either have to shrink the bird constantly to get it to fit, or I have to do something else. And if you don't like drawing, you know, you can be working on like writing, or maybe you like to play Minecraft and you have the like a build going, or you know, maybe you're doing homework since school is going on right now and people will be getting homework. I've been knee deep in Minecraft recently. Lately, I should say. I need to get back into a work routine where I'm working on my comic more than I'm playing Minecraft. Because this month's episode is very long. Actually, since Inktober is coming up, and I post on the 1st of each month, I might skip next month's update just to give myself a little more time to finish the whole thing, and also it'll be part of my hiatus for Inktober. So I should probably make a post about that. I didn't think of that when I posted the last episode. But yeah, I should let people know if I decide to not update next month. I think that's a little better. Let me see. I think this needs to go up slightly now. And that about looks right. Okay. Now he's looking down because I want to put little Swellow down here. I mean Taillow. Little Taillow down here. Like something like that. I don't know if I like their tails crossing like that. Let me color this in and see how I like it. So, Bronze Leaf, was it you who said that Taillow's your favorite bird Pokemon? Cause if it is, do you have a reason as to why? Cause my favorite Pokemon is Audino, but there's like a little story to it. It's not just the species. I mean, it is just the species, but like, there's something about my experience with that Pokemon that caused it to become my favorite. So I'm just wondering, did you have some sort of story like that? Let's see, Nick says, oh, I'm doodling my new challenge right now and also some fan art. Fan art for what? Ron says, I keep wanting to do it, but I feel like I'm not able to finish it. Plus, it depends on the prompts. You don't have to go with the prompts. This is the first year I'm going to actually try to follow the prompts. The prompts have always been sort of uninspiring to me, and so I'm embracing that and trying to find inspiration despite the prompts. This year, I'm still doing a theme. I still have my rat theme going on because last year I started a new sketchbook for Inktober and did all rats. I did Rattober basically, and since I'm gonna be using the same notebook, I kind of want to keep that consistent, so the whole sketchbook would be filled with rats. But I'm doing like rats plus the prompts. So yeah, you don't have to do the prompts. My first Inktober, I just did random, just anything that came to mind. And then third year I did rats, but anything to do with rats, like no additional thing to do with them. And this year I'm doing rats plus the official prompt list. And other than instead of doing a theme, you can also do like style. You can say I'm gonna do like I don't know. I'm gonna use a ballpoint pen all month. So like the utensil is the challenge. It goes back to putting restraints on your art, helping to breed creativity. You don't have to, but having something to hold you in, to box you in, can be useful when you're doing a 30-day challenge. Which, that's all Inktober is. It's a 30-day challenge. And if you don't think you can do the whole 31 days, you can do half Inktober, where you do every other day. Or you can do a a weekly thing where you like, you know, take a day in the week and do it. It's all what you make out of it. I kind of want to open his mouth. I don't know. Do you like it better with his mouth open or closed? I think I like it open, but... Swallow's got a very short beak. He's scrim. You ever see like a picture of a bird where it's in flight and it's just got its wings like tucked in so it hasn't like spread out yet, and it looks so silly. Okay, I think that's good. Wow, just stretch. Okay, let's do some line art. Let me catch up. Nick says I might do Inktober. I don't know, cause I'm in the middle of another challenge. Gavin says currently doing homework and studying right now. Hope your studying goes well, Gavin. I hope I'm not too distracting. Nick says, yeah, you and Tails have been going off with Minecraft. Oh, it's been bad. We've been on that, like, late at night. Gavin says, actually working on my own Fallout vault that will be, filled with many cool rooms. Ooh, that's awesome. A Fallout vault. That sounds like a good, idea for a storage room. Actually, in my world, my storage room does kind of look like a Fallout shelter. Braun says, IDK, I just ran into it and thought it looked cool, and then it evolved and I like it more. Hey, that's so valid. Nick says it might be some SU fan art from the movie. Do whatever you want, Nix. I'm still on the fence about SU. I can't bring myself to say completely that I like disown the show, but I no longer have the will or energy to argue for it against anyone, so I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too. I'm gonna have my friendship pancakes and eat them too. As the case may be. Nick says Rattober! Gotta do some more rats. Bronze says, yeah, I guess I can do what I want for it. He scram. Open mouth is cute. Foxy, hiya, Foxy. Just wanted to stop by before I went to bed. Look at Foxy being all responsible and going to bed. Thanks for dropping by. You have a good night, Fox. Yeah, I know a few people who like go to sleep at reasonable hours, and I'm just like, you are so powerful. Gotta be responsible. Me being responsible is drinking a cup of water. Water to wet my whistle, and to lubricate my innards. Colorful Chimera says, I'm on the fence with you too, but the new villain was so good. I've seen a lot of fan art so far on Tumblr, but I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm gonna see the movies eventually. and see how I feel. I'm still like able to see it without any sort of political or like, so like I know, like, my friends have told me media doesn't exist in a bubble. You can't, like, you know, take it just on its own. Everything has implications. That's fine. But it's not so bad for me yet that I can't be like, I can explain that in universe and it's not too bad. And it doesn't, it helps that I have like people that I watch on YouTube, like AJ Universe, who do like theory videos and breakdowns and reviews of episodes, and sort of talk through the episodes in ways that make me see it in a more optimistic light. It's good to be pessimistic and to you know, consume media with discernment, and to know when things are bad and to make decisions based on that. But the world is so sad sometimes. It's like, if there's something good to take from it, I'd rather just enjoy it for what that is. Nick says my insomnia won't let me go to bed at a decent hour. See, I don't even have that as an excuse. I'm pretty darn certain I don't have insomnia. I just have, I have a bad case of the procrastination. Like, I'll even procrastinate going to sleep because there's always something else to do. But I don't think it's like a neurological thing that prevents me. If I go to bed, I will fall asleep. It's just putting down the thing that I'm currently working on to go to bed that I can't do. There's something weird about this face. There's something weird. I sketched it. I liked it, but now I'm inking it, and I don't like it anymore. What happened to this face? Oh boy. Oh boy. Put in the body, the neck, everything's so smooth. You know, one thing I don't like about drawing snakes is they're just so smooth. Everything's just so unbelievably smooth on a snake. And like, you gotta make it smooth. And swallows kind of have that same deal going on. It's like such a smooth bird. Come on. Something like that. Oftentimes, I'll focus so much on the quality of the line, and then I pull back and realize I put the line in the wrong place. That's not bad. I want to make my brush smaller so I can get more control in the smaller areas, but if I do that, the overall size of the line decreases, and then I pull back and it's like it doesn't match with the rest of the drawing anymore. So I have to keep it relatively at a certain size. So instead of drawing the lines precisely small, I draw them in fat and then I go in and erase them into a point. Midna, my bro, how you doing? Meme Lord Midna has graced us with his presence. Thanks for coming by. It's always good to see ya. Oops. Howdy, gamer. Howdy, gamers. How do you get your line art smooth in CSP? Is it a custom brush? No, I use the... Oh, shoot. I am using a wait, why am I using a custom brush? Hold on. Ah, shoot. I'm using a custom brush. Well, I'll just keep going with it. So I have a custom brush. It's called the Nuzlocke Anchor because I tried to make a CSP brush that mimics my Photoshop brush that I use to ink in my Nuzlocke with. I don't know if it's the brush or if it's something that something else I did, but my last episode came out a little crunchy when I uploaded it. And it's not just a DeviantArt thing, it was also crunchy on my website. And I'm not sure why. So I decided not to use it anymore. I must have accidentally switched over to it. Right now I've been using the G Pen. The G Pen has a really nice smooth edge to it. I like the real G Pen, but it's a little too crunchy sometimes. The real G Pen has this nice crunchy texture, but it's a little too much sometimes. So I use the G Pen, and then I just turn my stabilization really high. It really sucks for sketching and for certain tasks, but for lining like really long, smooth things, the stabilization is a great tool to have on. And I tend to have it pretty high up when I'm not sketching. Gotta turn it off for sketching though, it doesn't behave properly for that kind of task. But yeah, I haven't yet figured out how to do custom brushes properly in CSP. I have some brushes that I've bought for Photoshop that I'm kind of sad that I can't use anymore because they don't port over properly. I might have to just go and get some new brushes for that. But making brushes has never been my forte. But other than that, it's drawing from your shoulder instead of from your wrist. So instead of trying to connect from here, right? You see where I have the line that left off and I try to connect it? I start from within the line, right? And then I continue it out so that it's a straight line, and I move with big strokes, and I move relatively quickly. With the stabilization, it allows you to move a little slower so that you don't have to, you know, basically, just put it down and, like, hope it's in the right place. So I'm not, like, doing it super fast, but I am using the momentum, the arc of my hand to let it naturally kind of be smooth rather than trying to do it little by little, which is its own sort of style. When I'm doing traditional work, I don't really do it this way, because if you mess up, you can't go back on it. So with traditional art, I tend to embrace some wibbly wobbliness. Instead of trying to go like this, I'll go like nice jittery sort of lines. It doesn't give the same effect on digital, unfortunately, but when you're on paper with the grain of the paper and all that, it's rather nice. I think Swellow's beak is a little too long. I'm gonna cut it short. And I'm going to point it a little bit. Gavin says I'm a Coca-Cola addict. I really like a cold Coke with fast food, like French fries, pizza, hamburgers, hot dogs. You know, if I'm eating something like that, I need a cup of Coke. But I'm not actually the kind to just crack a can and drink it straight. Coke is a great thing to wash things down with, but drinking it straight isn't great. Nick says, I don't think about media critically, and I don't like that I do that, so I watch stuff with Tails, and she points out stuff I never would have thought about. Yeah, and that's what I use video essays for. I watch a lot of people on YouTube who will look at media critically for me. But I don't like only having one or the other. Like, Tails is great because she points out everything that's wrong with SU, and then I like to go and watch videos like the what's his name, Nerd Otaku or something on YouTube, and AJ Universe. People who like really like Steven Universe, but also, you know, critically. Not in the sense that they don't necessarily address the issues that Tails raises about it, like the political issues. They're looking at it from storytelling angles and like character angles, which I also am into, so I enjoy them. How about, Gavin says, how about people just not put politics into our games and shows? Games and shows are supposed to be an escape from that stuff. It's not necessarily has to be an escape. I feel like fiction is powerful because it reflects reality. You know, like, just the whole idea of escapism isn't necessarily it's like it's a nice thing to have, but it's not always the best thing to, like, you know, tuck your head and not, you know, just stick your head in the sand and not think about anything. I don't think the shows should be overtly political, but there's, like, you know, is it political or is it being relevant? And if your show isn't relevant, then it's not it's not doing anything. It's not like, you know, you might as well watch Teletubbies or something. When a show has like that thing that they say, when the world is in danger, no one cares. You care about a story that's about family, or about like a brother and a sister, or like parents, that kind of stuff that's human and relatable and personal. And you might say, oh, that's not political, but it could be. It's like, what is politics? It's our society, you know. And if you think if you're thinking like politics as strictly like, you know, Democrats, Republicans, and like laws and stuff, then yeah, I might be prone to agree with you. Like, let's keep that stuff out unless it's a story about those things, like a historical drama or something. That stuff isn't necessary. But I tend to think of just societal things as also being sort of political. And like I feel like even Lego Movie was a little bit political in a sense. It wasn't like, you know, bashing you over the head with anything, but it was talking about like, you know, Lord Business and the man being in charge, but it related it to something personal. And if it didn't have that element to it, people would have been like, oh, it's a cash grab. Oh, it's a 2-hour commercial for Lego. Boo. That's what I think. Bronzely says, I'm back. How about, let's see, Nick says, I will stay in bed for hours with my eyes closed, but my body just like, nah, you got other stuff to do, dude, get up. Gavin says, I love smooth stuff. My trainer is basically all round, lol, not even spiky hair. Oh, wow, that's hard. Bronzely says, my G pen tends to be really pixelated no matter what size it's at. What size is your canvas at? You gotta make sure you're drawing at a high enough resolution. Right now I'm working at 20 inches by 13 inches at 300 resolution, which in pixel measurements is like 6,000 by 4,000 almost. Oops. If you zoom in really close, it's gonna be pixelated. There's nothing to be done about that. That's just the nature of rasterized images. So you never work that small, and you never zoom in that close. If you leave it a little further out, give yourself enough resolution, give yourself enough physical size, you should be okay. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be smooth. I didn't do anything to this G pen. It's the default G pen that comes with the system. It's possible you might have bumped some setting somewhere. I don't know. Hopefully you figure that out, because that sounds like a bad time. Bronzeleaf says, I didn't know CSP even had an option to see the canvas size and stuff. Oh yeah, if it didn't, it would be a junk art program. Like that's a basic thing that most art programs should have, that sadly not all of them do. So if you go up to, Oh shoot, let me see if I remember. Cause remember, I'm relatively new to Clip Studio. Like, I can tell you without even looking where to find it in Photoshop. You go to image size, and then it's there. But I'm not sure where to find it here. Give me a sec. I think maybe it's view. No, it's file, edit, change image resolution. Change image resolution. So it's under edit. The canvas size, canvas size changes the constraining proportions. So if you change the image size, it'll take this image that I'm drawing right now and like increase and decrease the size. If you go to canvas size, it'll keep the image as it is, but it'll change how much canvas I have around it. So it will take the borders and expand, but the image itself will stay the same. Gavin said, well, Coke helps me run and celebrate with. Run and celebrate with. I'm a track runner after all. Ah, so it gives you like a boost of energy. See, the problem is I don't run. I barely walk. So to drink Coke all day long is not good for me. But also it's just like the taste. I don't know, like it leaves a weird taste in my mouth, and it's also like, I don't know. It's not my favorite. It's been a long time since I've craved a Coke just on its own. Like I said, I'll like crave it all the time if I'm eating, something salty. Coke has that special sort of, it's not too sweet, it's fizzy, it's cold. I need to redo the feet. I think the feet are bad. Very bad on the feet. Don't know why. Let me just draw the rest of the body in. I'm not sure how it attaches. Okay, it is basically like that. Nope, nope. Nope, nope. Gavin says my legs are ripped and like the Flash or Sonic, to where I have to eat a bunch of food to burn it off. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I love hearing that people are like healthy and exercising. It allows me to live vicariously through that. Oh? Fire Dragon X23 is now following. Thanks, Fire Dragon. Glad to have you on board. Whoa, what was that? I hope you enjoy your stay. Hopefully we get to finish this in time. I'm so sad, you guys. Okay, so today I was prepping the families that I've drawn so far for posting. And I was going through my hard drives and I can't find the Zigzagoon family. It's just gone. I don't know where it is. And I've drawn it I have a screenshot of it right here. It's like, it's just a screenshot though, so it's not good quality, but it's like evidence that I have drawn it. I had to go on like a server to pull it off, just to make sure that I wasn't crazy and like dreamed myself drawing it. So yeah, I must have saved over it at some point. So now I have to redraw the Zigzagoon family, which luckily I have that screenshot, so I can basically just trace over it. But I hate losing files like that. I have a really bad filing system. I really need to get better at that. Hold on, I need to get this. Let me know if you guys can hear that vibrating sound, because that's my phone and I can move it if it's bothering you. Let me just check who's contacting me. I have to keep my phone up now, because on Mondays there's a lab being run at school, the school that I work at, and it's a print lab, and my lab monitor is doing, she's new, she's doing that for the first time this semester, and while she had training last year, it was just one semester of training. So I need to make sure that she's okay, and if something goes wrong, then I need to be able to answer it. So we roll with the punches here. I'll still get everything drawn and done. Don't you worry about that. It's just sometimes I may have to take a business call. But yeah, I've been sort of looking through the official prompt list, trying to prep for Inktober. Some of the prompts are okay. I haven't seen one that's like amazing yet, but I have gotten a few ideas that are slightly unique, I think. So hopefully they'll be fun. I'm hoping to borrow, I will be borrowing a friend's DSLR camera next month, but I'm not sure if I can get it to stream. I'm gonna buy myself an adapter cord and see if it will run with the game capture card that I got. If not, I'll have to buy an actual an actual camera image capture card to work with it. But also I have to get a new tripod arm because the one I got is only good for cell phones. It has like a clamp that will clamp onto cell phones, and it doesn't have any way to replace it with an actual camera tripod arm. I gotta buy a new one of that just to have it top-down view, but hopefully that'll work out and I'll be able to stream Inktober next month, some traditional stuff. If not, you may have to put up with my phone camera quality. I did get a new phone hoping that the quality would be better, and it is way better in my old phone, but it's still, I was reviewing some of the footage from the one time I drew on camera, and I'm still not happy with it. It's not bad, it's not horrendous, but I'm still not 100% happy with it. I'm gonna grab red and I'm gonna try and draw a better feet for this guy. Not sure why, but it just looked really bad when I inked it. I don't know how to proportion the feet. whoa, Tails! Tails says, I've been lurking. These babies are looking good. Yay! Thank you! I didn't know... Oh, wait, Fire Dogs? I've called you Fire Dog, I'm sorry. Fire Dragon says, you're welcome! Bronze Leaf says, now that I changed the canvas size, everything looks better! Yay! I'm so glad! Tail says, hate! Bird feet! Yeah, that's a mood. I'm not a fan either. I'm wondering if making it like splayed like this. It's like, where's Kadoo when you need her? It's like, Kadoo, help! I need help! I'm drawing birds. It just looks silly. Now that just looks silly! Don't be silly. Jam is what we need. Or rather drawing bird feet. Fire Dragon says, how to draw bird in general. General. Bronzeleaf says, it's been a while since I've drawn for fun, but man, it's fun. Bronzeleaf, you're a fan of birds. Are you able to draw the bird feet? Or is it just as much a struggle for you? Okay, so like my problem right now mostly is that because it's sort of angled this way, but then it's like coming towards us. So like the vanishing point is up here somewhere, and it's like coming out this way. I feel like there should be another vanishing point somewhere. How does this work? How do vanishing points work? I might have put that in the wrong place. I think there's one here that should be going that way. So that, like, maybe this one should be up here. And then something like that. I also don't know how big to make them. Yeah, I think this one definitely needs to be moved higher. Okay, let me see if that helps any. Tail says birds just look silly. Look at them. They're birds. Bronsley says not really. To knowing how to draw birds, I assume. They are hard to do and end up looking like beans, plus connecting them to the body is weird too. Yeah, I think I remember Kadu saying at one point that she draws the claws first. So she draws like the talons and then she connects them. But then I never know where to draw the talons to begin with. My favorite kind of bird feet are the kinds where I think they're raptor feet, or something. But they when they stand, let's see if I can remember. So you have the bone here, and then the claw, because it's part of the bone, comes out from the top here. But then you have the flesh that kind of just pushes to the side. You have this like pocket of flesh. Oh, it's like owls have these kind of feet, I think. Except theirs sometimes has fur also, or rather feathers. But you got this sort of thing going on where there's like this big toe fat or whatever. I forget what the rest of a foot looks like. I don't know, something like that. Maybe some fluff right there. But those kinds are fun. Pokemon, unfortunately, their feet tend to just be claws attached to something. Let's see. Toes going in the back. No, no, no. No, no, no. Okay, new approach. Just gonna erase everything. Gonna connect it. And then draw it on a layer above. Cha cha cha. Ah cha cha. That's kinda better, I guess? I don't know! Ronsley says they are hard to do and end up looking like beans. Gavin says, I'm back, got a burger and a fries. Yay! Have you guys heard of the new, like, Popeyes chicken sandwich? Apparently it, like, sold out on the first day and they haven't restocked it since. But, Popeyes has a chicken sandwich now, apparently. Ooh. I'd like to try it if they would restock. We used to have a Burger King on campus. They replaced them with, a Steak and Shake. which I think is supposed to be kind of famous in some place. The first day they opened, when I went to get a burger, like, I don't know how they managed it. There was a meat patty. It looked like beef. They had lettuce and tomatoes on it. There might have even been onions. I definitely put ketchup on it. And the bread looked pretty good. For some reason, that thing tasted like salt. There was no flavor. It was just a mouthful of salt. And I can't explain how they managed to make fresh vegetables taste like salt. But they did. But I did give them another chance. Because that was their opening day. I figure maybe like something wasn't working, or like they hadn't figured out their methods yet. So I went back, and it was better. It was definitely better. Fries weren't as, limp the second time around. The burger actually tasted like a burger. It wasn't anything to write home about, though. I kind of miss Burger King, to be honest. There's a McDonald's across the street. With McDonald's and Burger King, for me, it's always just been like whichever one is closer. I can't really discern a difference. It's been a long time since I've like had one. I don't know if like you blindfolded me and had me taste test if I would be able to point out which one was which. If there was one food item that you would 100% like stake your life on it, I can tell the difference, what would it be? Which food item do you have the most confidence in? I know some people are very good at discerning like pizzas. You got different kinds of fried chicken. Like, is this fried chicken from Popeyes or is it from a KFC? You got your donuts. Is this a duck donut or a Krispy Kreme? Or some people are like really into sodas. I can tell the difference between a Pepsi and a Coke. I feel like I can tell the difference between a Pepsi and a Coke. I haven't tested it. I haven't like sat down and tried tested myself in that. But I kind of believe I can taste the difference whenever I do have one or the other. It might be like placebo effect. Maybe fantasizing. I don't know if I could, if there's anything I would be confident in blind taste testing. It gets really intense when it's like side menu items too, like fries or like chicken nuggets. If you guys haven't heard of Rhett and Link, and it's like, who hasn't heard of Rhett and Link in this day and age? But they do a lot of that kind of stuff. I think Matt Pat on Game Theory also streams that kind of stuff sometimes. I'm like out of breath from working on the feed. Bronsleeve said, made me realize I'm hungry. Good thing my mom is starting dinner soon. Aw, yeah. Can you like smell the dinner from where you are? Sometimes I'm working on stuff and I finally take a break and I walk out of my room and suddenly it's like the smell just hits me. It's like, oh, dinner. Gavin says, I hope they continue to stock it. I need to get one soon. Bronze says, CSP struggling to blur my image. RIP. Oh, man. you might have made the canvas too big at that point if it's having trouble with that. Make sure you save before you do any kind of function like that. Gavin says, I can't answer. My observations suck. Aww. Well, so does I could do. Bronzeleaf says, yeah, I can, and it always smells so good. My house is one floor, and the kitchen is, like, not that far from my room. Ooh. What does it smell like? Can you, like, tell what's for dinner just from the smell? So my brother, told me about the Chick-fil-A thing. Chick-fil-A? Why did I say Chick-fil-A? I mean, the Popeyes chicken sandwich thing. And we were thinking, and I'm like, okay, so what exactly do they have to restock? Because if you think about it, Popeyes has chicken. Like, that's just the thing that they sell. It's not like they're running out of that. So, is it just the bread? Like, did they just literally run out of bread and haven't been able to get any? Oh, sometimes Rhett and Link does, like, blind taste tests of like, discount food items versus the brand name ones. And those are fun. Like, I feel like I want to try something like that because, I mean, come on, if the discount food item tastes exactly the same as the brand name one, then why pay extra for a brand name, right? Sometimes I feel like my brain just tells me that something tastes better just because it has a brand name to it. I stopped getting brand name cereal. I've been getting, like, Giant brand cereal when I go to Giant, or like Kirkland brand. I stopped getting Nutella. I get, like, that Giant brand hazelnut chocolate spread. To me, they taste exactly the same. I honestly can't tell the difference. I have noticed an interesting difference between like the cheaper Giant brand sweetened condensed milk and the more expensive, oh, what's it called? Eagle something sweetened condensed milk. It's like got an eagle on it, but I think it's a cow. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've had a cup of tea. I only drink tea with sweetened condensed milk, so I tend to stock it in the pantry so I don't run out. And one of the, I think it's the generic brand one, is, like, really thick for some reason, which is weird. Like, I can't tell that why. I assume that the thicker it is, the... Wait, is it the... Wait. Now I'm getting my wires crossed. It's been a while since I've had the brand name one. So maybe that's a sign that we need to change topics, because I've run out of experience to share. I thought I had something to share about it, and then I realized my memory did not travel. I was driving down the memory highway and realized there was construction going on, and I had to turn around. Under construction, memory files. think it's too low. I'm gonna move it up. Move it up, move it up. This is gonna be like the whole stream, is me doing this feat. Freaking bird feet. How do they work? I guess the back claw would kind of be clenched like that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna smooth out these. And then add claws. A little too much. Cut it down. Check the chat. Ooh. Gavin says same, although I do run back and forth to my room and kitchen. Bronzeleaf says it has meat and my mom is doing something with veggies and a skillet because I can hear sizzling. Ooh, the sizzling is a great sound, and that like of a can of Coke when you open it is also great. Ooh, Gavin says great value brand stuff just sucks, to be honest. It doesn't taste right. I like the name brands since I've grown into them, and it isn't the same eating the cheaper stuff. Tail says, you know what we should talk about? What your favorite, Hoenn. I don't know why I said Unova, like, that's clearly Hoenn that you wrote. Favorite Hoenn Pokemon and why? And which one do you like the least? And why? That's a good question. Let me think. Give me a sec. Let me just put in these claws. Cause I kind of feel like I've figured out this foot somehow after messing up this one, and so I might have to go back and do that one. Trying to think, despite having been in Hoenn the most, it's been a while since I've paid much thought to it and like the Pokemon in it. I've never really ranked them in my mind. Let me think. Let's start from the top, shall we? I do like Mudkip, but the Mudkip line is very good. That's a good contender for like best Pokemon of Hoenn. And right next to it we got Torchic, which is a good contender for least favorite. I'm not a big Torchic kid. Never been a fan of Blaziken. I think Blaziken's the only problem though. Like Torchic on its own, Combusken on its own, they're pretty good actually. I don't mind them, but because it ends with Blaziken, and I've never been a fan of Blaziken. It kind of sours the whole line for me. Also birds. I don't like birds. The birds are fine, but I just can't draw them. But as a fan of chickens, I can't completely dislike them, so I don't think I'll choose them as least favorite line. Though if it was just one Pokemon, I might, perhaps, would choose Blaziken. In terms of least favorite, I guess we could look at legendaries. Let's see, what legendaries do we have? I do like Groudon, and Kyogre's alright. I'm not a huge fan of Kyogre, but I have enough friends that like it. It's inoffensive to me. Rayquaza I've grown more into over the years. I never gave it much thought, but now that I'm in Team Delta, gotta respect the worm. Okay, I think I'm going to try out this for the feet. Let's zoom out and see what it looks like. It's a little strange, isn't it? It's a little strange. Cast Form is a good contender for least favorite Pokemon. I do not like Cast Form. Favorite Pokemons, we got Spinda, we got Flygon, we got Absol. You know, you got your Luvdisc is another bad Pokemon. Luvdisc, okay, maybe I don't dislike Luvdisc because as a game mechanic, like, I do end up having a bit of nostalgia for Luvdisc because you have to hunt it down for heart scales. So it's never been forgettable to me in the way that some other Pokemon might be. Is Luminion a Hoenn Pokemon? I feel like it's a Sinnoh Pokemon, but I also feel like I've seen it in Hoenn. Can you really hate a Pokemon just for being forgettable, though? So, like, the fish Pokemon, I'll give a pass. I won't list any of them as least favorite because, you know, what are you gonna do? You gotta have fish in your world, and fish are just kind of there for me. But I've done a series where I kind of draw a lot of, just cram a lot of Pokemon into an environment, and the fish Pokemon are really good for filling out space when you're doing like a water scene. So they have their use. I will give them a pass. In terms of let's go back to favorites. Let's see, what else do we have? Aggron has the sort of same energy as Rhydon to me. And so they're pretty cool. They're really ugly, but in a good way. I don't like Cradily or like Lileep. Those Pokemon are weird. Those are Hoenn, right? I know Mouse likes them, but yeah, they're not my favorites. Um my laptop died for 2 seconds and I panicked. CSP is ready to destroy my heart and my laptop, but mostly my heart. Oh my goodness. I hope it was saved. I hope your progress was saved. Tails says, I get that. I hate Incineroar so much it ruins the first two despite me loving them. They say the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Ooh. I'd say they're both sort of opposites. Indifference is like the extreme, I suppose. Huh. Yeah, that's really cool. I never thought about it like that. Tails, same. Bugs me that it made it into Smash, but not Subtile Decidueye. I like Lileep since it used to be an inside joke between me and an old friend. Yeah, you can really save a Pokemon by having sort of inside jokes and your own associations with it. Okay. I can noodle all day long. I'm going to let it be and draw poor little Taillow, who's still just a sketch. Taillow hasn't even entered the world yet. I'm trying to think of other Pokemon. Absol and Flygon um were Pokemon that I didn't know I loved until I saw the Pokemon movie. They were really cool in the movie, and I think the movie got me to like them like way more than possible. So I don't know where they would be on the list. I don't know if Flygon's like my favorite Pokemon, but it's certainly up there. Speaking of like Pokemon that you have inside jokes with your friends with, we used to wait for each other outside of the building after school in high school, and there were some benches out there, and we would just like dance like Ludicolo for no reason. Just go Ludicolo. I don't know if we thought we were like summoning each other by doing that. That's a little inside joke that kind of is what I think of whenever I think of Ludicolo. Obviously, you got C-Dot, and Nuzleaf, the sort of the poster children of Nuzlocke. So they got some cultural significance in that sense. Zigzagoon's a great Pokemon. I like Zigzagoon. I would always have a Zigzagoon or a Linoon in my party as the HM slave. Not so much Poochyena. Poochyena was always my friend's favorite. It kind of looks like... I think they liked it because it reminded them of Princess Mononoke. And since they were a weeb, I made me less interested in Poochyena and Mightyena. But, Mightyena, not a huge fan of its, of those markings on its head. It makes it look like it has, like, balding. But Poochyena's good. I like Poochyena. Don't care too much about the bugs. I can't decide which one would be my favorite. Do you guys have a favorite Hoenn Pokemon? And a least favorite? Anyone who hasn't spoken up about the topic? Because we have someone who loves Taillow. We have someone who loves Lileep. Is it Lileep or Cradily? I think it was Lileep. I think Metagross is a popular one. I know Ralts is a really popular one. I've never been a fan of the Ralts line. Oh, I like Vigoroth. Vigoroth is a cool Pokemon. I've always been a fan of the middle stages. Middle stage evolutions. They have this monstrous charm to them. Favorite Swellow. Hates Armaldo. Oh no! What's wrong with Armaldo? Armaldo is one of those Pokemon that I don't realize just how much is going on in its design. But it's got a lot going on. It's got like this weird jetpack on its back and like extra arms, and it's a lot. then the thing on its head. Just like that. And then I'm gonna zoom out so I can have him actually looking at him. I think I put the eye placement pretty well the first time. Yep. And gotta give him a little. Deep. Deep. I think I need to, I'm gonna reline Taillow to make it thicker. So, bear with me while I just trace over what I've already drawn. Yeah, I saved it. It was fine. Not a lot of my friends understand Pokemon or know of it. Tail says, I still hate Ludicolo for no fault of its own. Bronzeleaf says, but I got one of my online friends to know it. Sometimes he asks me questions on typing and stuff. Tail says, side eyes mirror B's team that stomped me as a kid. Bronzeleaf says, Pidgeon is up there for me, but mostly because of my Sapphire Nuzlocke ripped Thabo, my son, and the first to die. Sad face. I'm sorry. Tailsimp says, Flygon is probably my favorite. I dislike most of the Horndex. It's yeah, I don't know. It's got its good mons, but it's not super standout to me. But it's like, I can't dislike it. It's just my hometown. It's my region. I spent so much of my life in that world. That it's kind of, it's too nostalgic for me to dislike too hard. But certainly I haven't given it a lot of thought for a long time. Because it, as nostalgic as it is, it also has some bad connotations in my brain since I did lose that game. And it's like, it makes me feel bad because it was probably my fault for leaving it somewhere, for dropping it, for carrying it around when I shouldn't have been. So yeah, it just makes me feel bad when I think about it. Manectric and Electrike are some Pokemon that I really didn't like before, but over time I've grown to like a lot more. Same with the Aggron family. I used to really not like Aggron, but over time. Let's see. Hariyama, I used to not like a lot. I still don't really like it. Yeah, I'm gonna say I still don't like Hariyama. But as a big fan of Sumo now, more than I was before, I am glad that there is a Sumo Pokemon. I'm just a little disappointed with how it looks. If that is the Sumo Pokemon, meaning we won't get another one, I am a little sad about that. Cause it's just, I don't know, it looks like Wario and I don't like it. And it's like weird proportioned. So I'd say Hariyama's up there. Like, if I had to make a list of the Pokemon I didn't like. I would probably put him on the list. Makuhita is cute though. I like Makuhita. And certainly if I was going to do a Pokemon comic about sumo, I am absolutely having Hariyama as like a main character of some kind. Like, Hariyama isn't so bad that I wouldn't try to like it. I wouldn't like include it in stuff. It's not offensive to me in the way that I can't think of a Pokemon that's offensive to me right now. Yeah, I had to make Taillow's line art quite a bit thicker because Taillow's supposed to be in front of Swellow, and that means it's closer to the viewer and all that jazz. And all that jazz. Okay, let's color it in. Shall we? Let's shall. We need a dark, dark, dark blue. No, too saturated. There, that's better. Maybe a little more saturated. And even darker for the feet. A little tinge of a yellow for the toes. It's hard to see on this background because the background's also tinted yellow. It's a cooler red for the face. Oh, and the belly. I know it doesn't extend up to the eyes, but I'm gonna put it there just so we can see it. It's gonna be a little bit of creative license. How are we doing on time? I got an hour to shade. Yes. Doing good. Doing fine. Oh, so fine. It blows my mind. Gonna... the tongue. Mouth. And almost thinking I can even do this and put some white down here. I don't know if that's too much. And I kind of want to bring this wing up. There. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. I'm going to color Swellow. I think it's the same colors, honestly. Yeah, it's the exact same colors. there. Oh, I forgot to draw something. Can you tell what I forgot? I forgot the white belly. Okay. Let me see. Favorites would probably be the Hoenn starters. Don't really hate or dislike any of the other Hoenns. Sapphire was my first game, so I don't really hate any of them. Yeah, I feel like that's the same with me. It's like, it wasn't my first game, but it was the first game that I played, like, constantly. So it's hard to hate any of them. Even the worst one is like, oh, it's that guy. I know him. Bronzeleaf said, Almaldo destroyed my Nuzlocke team and I cannot. I'm assuming you're talking about Almaldo when you said destroyed my Nuzlocke team, because that's what you said was your most hated. Tail says, I wish I liked Hoenn more. Ah, that's why that Taillow face. He's scram boy. Mirabee is amazing. I like his theme song, and he's fun. I like his afro. Gavin says, best Pokemon anti-hero? I love and hate Mirabee so much. Bronzeleaf says, backgrounds are hard. Tail says, that's me with Johto, but I love that region and Dex. Bronzeleaf says, I've never played the Coliseum games and I feel like I'm missing out. At least look up Mirabee's theme song, because it's pretty fun. Yeah, Gavin says, a friend of mine had a Hariyama in her picture lock and I loved her. She was very sweet. What's a picture lock? Please explain. Tail says, I know. Part of why I dislike Hoenn isn't its fault. I was so upset I couldn't take my Pokemon with me after I filled the Gen 2 decks. I know that's forever mixed in with my feelings for Hoenn. Colorful Chimera says, I didn't really like Hariyama till I got a shiny and now I love my Slappy Boy. Ooh, what's the shiny for Hariyama look like? Gavin says, I have an amazing idea. What if I beat Pokemon Platinum with only Cedar and Briar? No evolutions, only HM slaves if it's completely necessary to progress. Interesting. Well, first look up which HMs Cedar and Briar can't learn. Because if they can learn them, then you're just gonna have a Cedar and Briar with all HMs. Just like 8 slots filled with HMs. But that could be fun. It's like taking naming your Pokemon after already current running stories and sort of replaying them in that way. Yeah, I go for it. I can't wait for Cedar and Briar to meet up again and become friends, and they go on adventures. It's gonna be so fun. I'm gonna die. I want more Briar. Briar's like my favorite character in Fire. Okay. I might even just erase that bit, because that's where the body used to be, but now it's over here. Let me just cut it down a bit. Well, let me review, okay? So my team, my main team in Pokemon Ruby, and I think I can still remember them, was a Ninetales named Starfire. A Raichu named Sparkle. A Mantine named Ray. A Flygon named Fly. An Absol named Soul. I'm really good at naming, you guys. What's that? Sapphire, Starfire, Sparkle, Ray, Soul, Fly, and I think it was Green, the shiny Zubat. That's my Hoenn team. I have 2 Pokemon that are Hoenn Pokemon. So yeah, love the region, love the games. Never really been huge proponent of the Pokemon. Because I always got the fire starter, even though I knew I didn't like Blaziken. So I would get the fire starter, I would ditch Blaziken and get another fire Pokemon. Oh, I remember now. Okay, favorite Hoenn Pokemon, Bannet. Bannet is probably my favorite Pokemon from Hoenn. Like Flygon is great. I feel like I have to choose Bannet. Okay, so I've settled on my favorite Pokemon. I still haven't decided on a least favorite. I might just go with Blaziken, to be honest. It's not so much that it's like the worst Pokemon in Hoenn, but it's the worst Pokemon that I've had to deal with consistently. Like, I haven't had to deal with the other ones as much as Blaziken. Oopsie, I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, now I'm on the right layer. I'm gonna color the the underwings that, and then choose a lighter tone for the upper body. Be even lighter than that. Oh. I do like Spinda a lot. And I really like the Mudkip line. It just feels weird to me to like the Mudkip line when I'm a fire starter user. I don't know. It's just not something I've used before, so it's just a little strange. It does change slightly. Let me reevaluate here. I think I need to move the blue slightly into cyan. Yeah, that feels a little better to me. And then, as for the sky, we're going to go with just a nice clear blue sky. Maybe we can grab the oil paints. Just kind of dapple in some clouds. Let me think. What other Hoenn Pokemon have I had interactions with? So I've got some in my PMD stories. I really the main reason I ended up liking the Mudkip line more than I did before is because of my PMD characters. They one of the teams is main character is a Mudkip, so I had to draw him a lot for that, and I found out I really like drawing Mudkip. Like base design wise, it's okay as a Pokemon. I'm not a huge fan of how it looks in most depictions, but oh, it's such a fun creature to draw. Never got to evolve him, which is a shame, but maybe someday. And then I've had plans to put a what was it? I had plans to put a Swablu in one of my teams. But I never got that far. The Mudkip's name is Sam. Sam's grandparents were both Wishcash, so that's another Hoenn Pokemon. It's funny, for the longest time I kind of thought that Mantine was a Hoenn Pokemon. Tails, don't be disappointed. Tails says, I wasn't impressed with Swablu. I had it on my first Hoenn team. Swablu is great aesthetically. So it was going to be on Jello's team. Jello, the Audino, and a Swablu. I forget what I was going to name the Swablu. But if you've ever heard the song Pollyanna from the Earthbound series, they have a version with like words. I'm not sure if it's like an official version or if someone like covered it, but one of the lyrics is talks about a bluebird, and I kind of liked the idea of having that be referenced to that Pokemon. But yeah, I named the green Zubat green. I named the Flygon Fly. The reason Sparkle, the Raichu, was named Sparkle was because I always named Raichu Sparky, and it was a girl, so I just named it Sparkle. And also in Fire Red, I had I already had a Raichu named Sparky, so there's that. I'm great at names. Tail says, why is Briar your favorite character? Honestly, Tails, a lot of the times my favorite characters are my favorite characters because of their aesthetic. And I love Briar's aesthetic. Just the way that Mouse draws her is so good. Beyond that, I really like rival characters because they tend to have some more bite to them. And Briar certainly has a lot of bite to her character. She's like very abrasive, but in a way that you feel like there's more to it. She's not just like a jerk. Cause like if you have a grunt character, like an evil team character, you don't get that sense that there's gonna be character development or anything. But with most of the times, rivals do get some of that, so that's fun. I like her name. That kind of plays into it. I don't know. She just clicks with me. When I see her, I want to see more. And oftentimes that's all there is. It's when I have a series that I'm following, I tend to have a character that I really want to see more of. And in Fire, that character is Briar. Oftentimes, the character that I want to see more of is one of the main reasons I will continue to read a thing. It got really bad in Naruto for a while because in the first seasons, I say seasons, but I never actually watched the anime. I only read the manga. But in like the beginning arcs, I really liked Sasuke. He was really cool. And I wanted to see where his character goes and like how him and Naruto become friends and all that. And it was cool. And then he just like got worse and he wasn't like cool anymore. He was just angsty and bad. And then he wasn't even friends with them anymore cuz then he wasn't on the team and they would constantly like pull him off the team to like special train him or whatever. And so I was like, "Oh, well there goes my favorite character." And I didn't have any reason to like keep watching. But then Neji started showing up and he was like having some character development and he was changing and suddenly he was like one of the guys. And so I was like, "Oh, Neji's cool. I like Neji now." And Neji was my favorite character and I was happy and I had something to like carry me through. And then they all grew up and Neji
became a non-character. Like he lost all sense of personality and didn't get to do anything, and yeah, it was so hard. It was so hard to continue a series where I didn't care about any of the characters except for the one that doesn't show up at all. I think there was another boy. Was his name Sai? The guy who like does paintings. He like draws on a scroll and it like comes to life or something. He was interesting. I liked that character. I wanted to see more of him. Kakashi was always a great character. I liked Kakashi. So that also kind of helped, was that he was occasionally there, but he was one of the old blood, you know? He wasn't one of the kids. So he didn't get to do as much as you know. You don't expect him to do much. And it seems like it's gonna happen again with Fire, because I like Briar, but as with all things, I don't think the rival will stick around for very long. Sad face. But I believe that someday Briar and Cedar will be best friends, and Briar won't be a jerk. Let's see. I wasn't impressed with Swablu. Gavin says, what? I love Swablu. Definitely one of my favorite birds. Tailsim, I got it because it was so cute. Gavin says, it's adorable, and it even got a buff in Gen 6 as one of the only fairy types in Hoenn. Ooh, excuse me. Gavin says, awesome! It's cool to see another person who appreciates the Mother Earthbound franchise. I really want to appreciate Mother Earthbound. But when I tried to play it, I couldn't finish it. It was like Pokemon, but so not Pokemon that it didn't click with me playstyle wise. But I'm definitely hoping to have time to watch a Let's Play of it someday and like get through the story, because I heard that Mother 3 has like a really hard-hitting ending. And I certainly want to see the other ones too. But I love the Pollyanna song. That's like the theme song to my PMD characters. Yeah, Mother and Earthbound, they're really good games. It's just I got in too late. It was no longer part of my it was no longer something that I could get into when I tried. Maybe someday I'll give it another shot. What about her attitude? She's such a brat. See, I don't like rude characters. I like if they can like get better. I love Briar, but not specifically because she's rude. I like that she's rude, but then she like gets comeuppance, you know? That she doesn't get to stay rude. That the Poochyena will bite back. that like she's gonna get beaten up by Cedar or whatever when she picks a fight. She's gonna like cry. I like rude characters that cry. But her whole thing where she just feels bad because she's being so rude, but she wants to make friends or teammates. I don't know. I like that. It's fun. I feel like her rudeness is coming from a very bad place, and so I don't like it. I don't like that she's rude. I want her to have friends and learn to be better about that. But I don't want her to lose that bite. Like I want her to still, I don't know if rude is the right word, but I want her to be like that punky, feisty sort of nature she's got. Just in a more, I don't know, controlled way, more acceptable kind of way. I don't know. Gavin also likes her because of her rudeness, her attitude. She's fun, yeah. But I see it as potential. I see it as a place for her to grow from. To not change her personality, but for her to learn to mature into it in a better sense. Fire Dragon has to go! Bye, y'all! Sorry I missed ya. But I hope we see you again someday. Gavin says, oh, and I like Tricos too. The Trico from Detective Pikachu was very good. That was my favorite version of Trico I've ever seen. Other than that, Trico's alright to me. I tend to like it when I see it in like anime or other media, but on its own, I'm indifferent to it. I wouldn't like, it wouldn't be my first pick for anything. It's my first pick for like a new Detective Pikachu verse movie. If they were to continue the franchise in that direction with the realistic Pokemon designs, please make it about Trico. Because that Trico gave me life. Tail says that happened to a lot of Naruto characters. Sure, but I didn't care about the other ones. They were just as interesting later as they were in the beginning, and it was fine. It was fine. But Neji I actually wanted more of, and so I did kind of care when he just wasn't a character anymore. Hi, Mouse. Hello. Mouse is like, are we talking about Briar? Yeah, we are. Just talking about how rude she is. Mouse, why are your characters so rude? Talking about how Tails and Gavin like Briar for her rudeness, but I don't so much like her for her rudeness as I like the potential for her to maybe be a less abrasive, rude child. I do like her what did I call it? Spunk? I don't know. Her like attitude, but I don't like how it's like coming from such an anger place. I like it more when it's friendly and when characters are having a good time, having a good time. Gavin says, I feel like Briar will make many appearances if we're going off the rivals in the game. Let me think. If I recall, Brendan does show up at the bridge. And then again... So, it's hard for me to remember exactly the story beats of Hoenn, because the way I play Pokemon is I'll start one file, and I'll just only play that file. So despite being in Hoenn for most of my life, I've only ever played the story of it 3 times. The first time was my Ruby run, which Pokemon Ruby is lost now, so I can't, that was my main file. I no longer have it. The second time I played through Hoenn was only partial playthrough, and it was a speedrun race through Emerald. I didn't beat it, so because I didn't really win the race, so I just kind of didn't finish it after that. And then my third playthrough was Oraz. So I got Omega Ruby, and that's the current one that I have. And honestly, I don't remember anything too well. Like I'm pretty I always remember that Brendan shows up like on the bridge when you just leave the forest, whatever that forest is, the one with the wormholes. He's there. And then I know that he's at the very end, like after the champion thing, and maybe even after the credits, though it might have been before the credits. Yeah, wherever else he shows up, I don't quite recall. So in my mind, I thought maybe we wouldn't see Briar for a while, since I can't remember when the next time you bump into the rival is. I think maybe in Slateport at some point you bump into them. But yeah. I'm kind of wondering if I should Nuzlocke Sword and Shield, and whether or not I should do it on stream. Something that I've been interested in doing is game streaming, because I just haven't had the time to play any video games. Except for Minecraft, of course, but that feels less like playing a video game and more like socializing for me, because I mostly get on when my friends are on, and then we kind of chat and work on a project together. It's kind of like in that regard. When I think video game, I'm thinking you sit down by yourself and you go through a story. like to give you context, I started playing Pokemon Masters, and I still haven't gotten through any of the character stories and any of the I haven't even gotten through the main story because I just don't have the time to put it on with sound and like actually read the dialogue, because I need the sound. I need to I need to watch for the character, like the story. And it's a commitment thing, I think. For me, it's always been a commitment thing. It's why I can't watch anime but like once a year, because I start and it's like before I start it, it's this thought that I have to commit to a whole story and get invested in characters and stuff and have the sound on, and I can't be doing anything while I watch it. Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm gonna move Swellow over a little bit. He's kind of not in a good place. In terms of how it's intersecting with the Swellow. That's a little better. Yeah, it doesn't have quite as many problems when it's there. Mouse says, I didn't finish Earthbound either, lol. Gavin says, Mouse, I'm actually planning on doing the Cedar Briar Challenge in Platinum. If you want, I could inform you on what I'll be doing. Gavin says, I recommend starting Mother Earthbound 0 and then going on from there. Can't wait for Briar. Mouse says, can't wait for Briar to get beaten up by Cedar. Gavin says, also, I'd play the 25th anniversary edition of Mother 1 because it's better than the original, to be honest, in terms of mechanics. Ooh, I didn't know they did an anniversary version. Do you know if it's on Switch? If it's on the virtual console on Switch? Gavin says, she seems like a true hustler, which I can respect. Yeah, I respect that too. It's just she doesn't understand how to get the hustle, you know? Like she's got the hustle, but she can't get the muscle. I don't know. I'm trying to make rhymes. But like you can't just have hustle, you have to have finesse. You have to you know, like woo the customer, make them want to work with you or whatever. I'm gonna do Taillow's the other way around. And I almost feel like, let me zoom out and see if this looks any better. What good's a hustler without a scam? I'm waste of talent, that's all that I am. Well, this operator is at the wrong address, 'cause there's no one to finagle, no one to finesse. It's so heavenly here, you're imperfect. No, I'm gonna put it back. I'm gonna put it back to what it was. I don't like it when it's... Though I don't really like it when it's just like this either. Shoot. What do I do? What to do? What to do? Color that side, color this side. Something like that. I think that's better, yeah. Because then it makes it feel like the tails are sort of folded inward. That the shadow is only on this one side and the other end is a little more in the light. I'm gonna leave it like that. And then for Taillow buddy, you're gonna have the opposite. You're gonna have shadow on the bottom instead of on the top. I'm gonna put it right there. And right there. Maybe like that. Let's see. Mouse says, I do not like Trico LMAO, but I like its Evos. I don't like the whole line. You at least like the Evos, but I don't like the whole line. I've only started to like Trico because of Detective Pikachu. Yeah, I've never been much into grass types, so I just never really gave it much thought, I guess. Mouse says, yeah, I know I've been there. Gavin says, I swear, after seeing Tricos and its evolutions from other people like Briar and Shredder, and also using one in my own Nuzlocke, I've grown to like it. Mouse says, Briar will appear only once in book 2 and not again in book 1. But she'll be a pretty regular character from early book 3 onward! Yes! Yes, yes, yes! I'm punching the air. You can't see it, but I'm celebrating. Gavin says, nice. Are the current pages from book 1? Yes. Cool deal. Tail says, so on a weird note, apparently the rival battle on the bridge is a speedrunner. Wait, it's a speedrun ruiner in Gen 3. Gavin says, I need to get into working on my own Nuzlocke comic, lol. Oh yeah, that battle is a mess. Gavin says, five-year-old me couldn't beat Maze Grovile. Mouse says, that battle under the bridge was the hardest battle I had the whole Nuzlocke, lol. Gavin says, don't blame ya. Tail says, you should, and you should stream it. Talking about, Sword and Shield, I'm assuming. Tails says, with me on the Nuzforms account. If you'll have me, Tails, I will. Okay, Zero for real. Mouse says, I've been having a lonely time playing Minecraft with y'all. A lovely time. A lovely time playing Minecraft. I've enjoyed it with you too. Gavin says, they'll probably be very easy unless you put on some brutal rules. The newer games seem to be easier than the older ones. Actually, I've heard that Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is one of the hardest ones to Nuzlocke. I don't know from experience, but I hear most people will say that if you ask them. Tail says, one of the reasons I started game streaming was so I could be forced to play games. I know, right? It's such a good excuse. I'm going to try and play Banjo-Kazooie as a stream. I don't know if I'll have to wait until December to do it or if I can start earlier in November, but we'll see. Tail says, playing Minecraft with you has been the best. Gavin says, what version of Minecraft do you guys play? I play on PC. We're using 1.13, I think. It's on a server that was set up for the Pokemon comics forums. Pokemon forums. Sorry, it's not the comics forums. I just say comics because I do a comic, but I shouldn't be self-centered like that. Mal says I play Java and Bedrock. Gavin says nice. Gavin says I might buy my sister Minecraft for Christmas to see if I can get her into it. She said that it was a bit boring at first, so I'll try to show her some of the cooler things like the nether and the structures. She probably needs a project. I get really bored in Minecraft if I don't have a project. Tail says I also cannot wait for Briar to get beaten up by Cedar and everyone else who can pull it off. Gavin says the fans made the 25th anniversary edition, so it wouldn't be on Switch. You gotta download it. Ah, gotcha. That makes sense. Tail says, I feel like having a project in Minecraft and just doing something like mining or exploring are two very different ways to play. So yeah, she might just need a project. Gavin says, I wish Nintendo paid more attention to the Mother series, to be honest. Whew, I am lightheaded, but I have caught up with y'all on the chat. Sorry for that pause, that momentary pause. See, this is the problem when Karen doesn't want to work. Karen's my secretary. She's a bot that's supposed to read me the chat. Karen almost never works, and I basically have to just take a break now and then and read the chat. But yeah, I love that you guys are interacting. It gives me something to think about while I'm drawing and stuff to talk about when I run out. But going back to the whole like game streaming thing. So I'm going through right now trying to figure out how to connect my N64 to the Elgato HD60 capture card. It's I thought I just needed an AV converter to convert the the red, yellow, and white thingies. The technical term is thingies to HDMI. So I got an AV to HDMI converter and it didn't work. Terrible. So I contacted the people who sold it to me, and they're sending me a new one. It should arrive tomorrow. So I'm kind of antsy about that right now. I hate ordering stuff online, you guys. Like, the whole process of waiting for something to arrive after I've paid for it is just... I've never been able to get over it. Like, I'd rather just go to the store and pay someone money and then like walk out with something. But what can you do? You gotta sometimes the store doesn't have it or someone's just sending you stuff. So tomorrow it'll arrive and I will plug it in and hopefully it works. And if it does, I'll have to decide when I want to stream Banjo. It's a really good time right now to be streaming Banjo because Banjo just came to the Switch, and I'm really itching to play it again. It's been a while, but not a lot of people have played Banjo-Kazooie, and I want to share the amazing game that it is with all of y'alls. If anyone is interested, last winter in December I played what was it? What did I play? Undertale for my streams all of December. And so I think I might do that again. I might save the Banjo stream for then. If not, if I get too itchy to play Banjo and if I can set it up properly, I will I might start in November. We'll just have to see. But Banjo-Kazooie is like one of my all-time favorite games ever. Right now the only question is if I can get it to work. I'm gonna make another layer. I'm gonna turn this to overlay, and I'm going to select this color and maybe it's not overlay, maybe it's screen. Yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna dapple in some feathers.
gotta put it in enough that it looks like dappled feathers and not just spots. You get that kind of effect sometimes with birds with very smooth feathers. It looks kind of incandescent, like on pigeons sometimes. I don't want it to look like scales or spots, really. Though sometimes it does look like scales, I guess, so it wouldn't be terrible if that's what happened, but... Now, I don't know what the red part is, if it's like just a different color feathers, or maybe it's a wattle. Some birds have a wattle that's, you know, on their face. I guess since it's a swallow, I'm assuming it's just a different color feathers, because swallows don't really have wattles. At least not that I know of. But yeah, since it's so dark in color, I kind of want to do this to give it some more texture, I guess, or just something to look at, to break up the huge swath of dark blue that it is. Just like that. Gavin says, I need to get my sister some iron so that we can do some real exploration. Tail says, game streaming. Gavin says, bro, online ordering is awesome for the most part. Helps get things you can't buy from nearby stores, and you don't have to leave the house either. Probably gonna try to emulate a PS1 on my Wii so that I can play the original Resident Evil. Ooh, I've never played Resident Evil. Gavin's gonna be right back. And there he go. Resident Evil sounds scary. Is it a horror game? Is it one of those scary games? But I hope everyone's having a good day, or had a good day, or, you know, will have a good day tomorrow. I don't know. If you didn't have a good day, I hope this is giving you a chance to wind down and center yourself and find a little corner of the universe to remind yourself that people are kind sometimes, and we all just want to draw Pokemon and talk about Earthbound and Minecraft and have fun together. He's scary. Tail says this stream is helping make today a better day. I'm so glad. That makes me so happy. I don't like where I put these speckles. I think the speckles tend to be on the upper level of feathers because they're a little more compact, whereas down by the pinions and the flight feathers, it's not so much because then they spread out a bit more. The speckling happens because the feathers are just so close together that they look like scales, basically. But then down here it would look more like this. So I put them a little too far down. But yeah, I think that about does it for this image, and I'm gonna look up at the time as soon as I finish noodling this little spot that I discovered needs some highlights, and hopefully we'll have enough time to draw a Pokemon. Why don't someone somewhere give me a Pokemon to draw? And for anyone who wasn't here when I announced it earlier, I will be making an announcement, probably on, like, you know, all of my announcement sites and all that, but next month I probably will not be posting a new episode of Just Black Nuzlocke. As you know, I usually post them on the 1st of each month. And since next month is October and I usually take a hiatus for Inktober, I'll probably just hold off on that. Patrons will still be getting something this month in terms of, like, early access. So the next episode has kind of a prologue to it and then the meat of the episode. And so I will be giving them the first chunk of it, basically. It's not super long, but it enough happens that I think it's still, it could be its own episode, if I wasn't crazy. So if you aren't already and you're interested in getting that, I should probably have links ready, but here, let's see. I got a link to my Patreon. Boom. Hi Gavin! Gavin's back! Yay! And then you can help decide what Pokemon we should draw to end out the stream, because it is 12 o'clock, and about time to end the stream. Well, yeah, so patrons will be getting something at the end of the month, and other than that, on the 1st of November is when the full episode will drop for everyone else, and I hope everyone is okay with that. Hopefully I will remember to keep posting the Pokemon families one a week on DeviantArt and Tumblr. I should probably link those two. I almost never talk about my sites, but Tail said that if I do, I should include links. So DeviantArt, Tumblr, it's good practice. It's good practice. If you want to follow me on those places, I'll be posting the Pokemon families there starting today. I already posted the Trico family. That's what it's called.
Trico. I posted the Trico family today. This one. And I'll be posting them one a week. On DeviantArt, and then a few days later on Tumblr. But until then, let's... Oh, you know, I should be good, save and quit that, and open... You know what I should do? I should open the Pokemon challenges and start using this document for them. Old. Okay. Let me take a look. We got Sylveon. A Sylveon variant. Ooh. Okay. So if I remember correctly, fusions is where you just mash two of them together. But a variant is more like a breed of Pokemon. So let's look up Sylveon. And it is in the field egg group. Gavin says, good thing is that I'm starting to delve in... Gavin says, good thing is that I'm starting to delve into the world of digital money and credit cards, so I'll be able to load money into a debit card and start supporting all my favorite creators. Oh my goodness! Congratulations on entering the digital age. Be careful with your credit cards. Credit cards are good if you want to like build up credit and get cash back and all that, but never like treat your credit card like a debit card. Just don't spend more than you have. And treat your debit card like cash. So I'll be able to Gavin said you'll be one of the first ones I get a good amount. Oh, thank you. You don't have to, but if you do, I super appreciate any amount. Even $1 is enough to get you the early access stuff, and then you get to go be on my Discord where we can chat about anything you want after the streams and stuff, and you get to see the sketches from the streams. I'm gonna draw a Sylveon just to practice it. Well, it's a debit card, so I can't really do much with it. It's still pretty convenient. You just gotta be careful, because as they say, I mean, you already buy stuff online, so you probably know, but it's been proven that humans tend to have a less of a pain response in their brains when they pay with card as when they pay with cash. So when you pay with cash, you hand over Uncle Ben and he doesn't come back out of that coffin. You know, and so you've like made an exchange. Whereas with card, you hand them your card, you get your card back, and it's like you never gave them anything for the transaction. So even if, like, you know, by logic, you know that you paid money, it doesn't trigger the same response, and then you end up spending more. So, you know, it's a huge responsibility, even though it's just a debit card, as you say. As you say, it's just a debit card. Well, debit card is still plastic. It's got the same kind of powers. But yeah, I usually use the patron monies to supplement stuff like art supplies, but since I don't buy art supplies all that often, I mostly save it up for bigger projects. I recently just used a ton of it to get the fountain pen that I'm going to be using for Inktober. So it's been fun playing with it so far. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. Thanks. I super appreciate you saying that, but don't, you know, just because you said it, it won't hurt my feelings if later on you decide it's not something that you can either support, or that you have other people that you want to do first. I totally understand. We're still having a good time here on the streams, and I just like having you around. I didn't actually start patronizing people. What's the past tense of being a patron? Or what's the action term for it? But I didn't start patronizing people until quite recently, when I decided to make a budget for it, and I realized, hey, I actually have money that I can throw at people to make the stuff that I enjoy. And so there we go. So far I only have 5 people that I support. I think 5? No. 5, 10, 15, 20. 4. I have 4 people that I'm supporting on Patreon. And I often forget sometimes that I am. Like, I'm not really sure what perks I'm getting. It's funny. I always feel like I'm not giving my patrons enough, but then when I go and patron someone else, I don't even really pay attention to what perks I'm getting. Let's see. Tail says, me with a credit card full of car repair debt. Oh boy, yeah. Sure. I mean, people are going to use the credit card differently. It's just, you gotta understand that, you know, it's gonna compound. You're gonna end up paying more than the thing costs. But it's there if you can't afford the thing, you know. Because if your car breaks down, what you gonna do? You gotta repair it. You can't. What I mean is more like, don't spend more than you have on like games or like things that you don't need, you know? Like bills and food and like repair costs kind of jump at you, and you kind of have to deal with them. I'm saying, like, just because you have a credit card and you have credit doesn't mean you should like go and buy all the Beanie Babies. You don't need that many Beanie Babies. That took a lot longer to draw than I thought. Let's look at the egg moves. What do we want to see? Let me put this on screen. Here are the Pokemon that we can breed with Sylveon. Meowth could be interesting. Vulpix could be interesting. Ooh, Nidorino. Haha. Gavin says, I hope I don't wreck my parents' car. I'll try not to give in to any needless purchases. We'll probably only use the debit card to donate to creators, physical money on physical things like food and games, and Amazon gift card money for that site. Tail says, mine wasn't even wrecked, it's just old. I remember my old car, I was like paying so much for repairs every month just because it would just like be unsafe to drive in general. That it got ridiculous. Like I might as well have bought a new car with all the money that it took to repair. Gavin says it depends on how much it costs. I usually get paid $20 and there's a $5 fee for every reload. So it'll be a while till I do it. Yeah. Just be responsible and you're good to go. Tells them, become a patron! Becoming a patron? Subscribing to People's Patreon. Gavin, I think you and Ruby of Blue will be the only people I'll donate to for the time being since I get some cash on it. Don't have enough cash to donate to everyone I know that has a Patreon. So I have to be selective, and I think you would be the one I'd love to support. Oh, that touches my gizzard. Thank you. Tail says, me having just dropped 25 on a gacha game. Sure. But Tails, at least you're like responsible with money. You're dropping that amount on a gacha game because I assume you've budgeted for it. You know, I'm talking to people who may not have thought about it. Nidoran M would be cool. Luckily, mine isn't in need of repairs every month. I just have a lot of routine maintenance, so a lot of stuff needs to be replaced. I'm going with Nidorino. Because I really like Nidorino's design. Oh my goodness. What could I do with this? Okay, so Sylveon Nidorino. Let's keep this sketchy for now because I'm not sure what to do. Because it still got to be a Sylveon. It's not a fusion. It's looking a little like a Jolteon right now. Which isn't terrible. Tails, are you saying you just dropped $25 more on a gacha game? Because I know you dropped some money earlier. Oh. Wait, this part goes... Okay, so here's the head. Maybe because of its stoutness, a Nidorino Sylveon would be more like a little more hunchbacked. Like a bulldog, you know? it's stubby now. And its fur kind of sticks up. It's got spots. Give it spots. What else? Spots here. Or maybe reverse spots. Spots, Gavin says I still need my license and I'm scared when I drive the car since I don't want to wreck it with my parents in it. Gavin, let me tell you a secret. You need to always be scared when you're in the car. It's when you stop being scared that you get in an accident. And I'll tell you, like, that's from experience. I drive so much safer when I get in the car and think, wow, I am now in like this big heavy metal weapon, basically, that I could just, like, you know, mow people down with. This is scary. I need to be careful. Versus if I'm just like I'm leaning back, I got my hand on out the window, I'm just kind of like la la la, I'm singing my songs. Yeah. But you shouldn't be so scared that you're like nervous, cuz that goes into the other extreme where you like tense up and you can't think straight. You need to have some level of like confidence, but not complacency. Tail says, me being the kind of loser to have budgeted $25 on a gacha game. Sure. Tail says, well, it came out of my general entertainment budget, but still. Gavin, $25 isn't too much for me since I'm paid reasonably well since I'm the only one who does anything around here. I sense some hostilities. Tails, did you just drop $25 more on a gacha game? Sweats. To be honest, I might pay $30 to get my older sister a game that I'm sure not sure she'd even play. But I'll do my best to convince her to like Minecraft. Driving is fear. Gavin says, I feel better when I'm calm and collected, like I usually chew gum when I drive. Oh yeah, like calm and collected, good. what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you're, it's not that you're calm and collected, but that you like aren't paying attention anymore. You know, like that level of relaxation, I guess. Well, I mean, hey, I'm going to a Small Press Expo this month. It's next weekend, I think, and I've budgeted 100 plus for that. Um, so like, I guess spending 25 on a gacha game isn't hardly that much. And you know, right now, in Pokemon Masters, you can only get Blue for, I don't know if you can only get him for a certain amount of time or if it's just easier to get him for that amount of time. But until the end of the month, I think it is. And you need these gems in order to roll for new characters. And it's kind of a pain to get gems. So you know, I'm certainly, I've had the temptation to just throw money and like, you know, get all the gems that way. I've certainly thrown money at Pokemon Go to increase my storage because I suck at uh uh gym battles, which is the only other way to get coins. And I won't lie, I've spent, let's see, I've spent $60 on Mario Maker, which I've only played twice since I've bought it last month. I bought uh what was it? I pre-ordered Sword and Shield. So that's another $60 on a game that I can't play right now because it's not even out. I bought it was like 30 some bucks for Ace Attorney series trilogy, um, which I haven't played because it's for a stream. So I'm spending a lot of money on like game stuff that I'm not even taking advantage of. So who am I to judge? Okay. I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I got for you. I increased the ear size. I don't know if it looks too much like what do you call it? A fusion. I hope it doesn't look like a fusion. Um it's supposed to be a variant of Sylveon. But yeah, it's just Sylveon, but now spiky. shade in those. Shade in these. What else? This has some shading going out. It's like a sea urchin Sylveon. And I think I can also toss in a little, just a little of this. This is something fun you can do with your Inktober stuff or your like any kind of inking traditional work. Especially like with like ballpoint pen, is if you have like a highlighter or some kind of colored pencil to just lightly go over certain parts of your drawing, whether for like pick, for instance, in this drawing, I'm picking pink as the color to shade. So wherever I put this shade is supposed to be pink. And just coloring all of that in. And like usually it looks better with just one color. So instead of being like, oh, well, I have a green and a blue and a pink highlighter, I'm going to do 3 different colors. It's like, well, that can look a little messy. But to pick one and kind of color it in a little bit, it adds a little bit of dimension, I guess, to it. You can also, if you don't want to pick a local color to translate into a color, you can do shading with it. Shading with the highlighter or the color pencil can help add some depth with very little effort. I'm pretty sure highlighter is okay on ballpoint, but like different brands are different, so be careful because highlighters are alcohol based, I believe. So if you have a waterproof pen, it may not be highlighter safe. The highlighter may still end up smudging the ink. You gotta test it. Gotta do a swatch and then draw over it with your highlighter. Let's see. But yep, there it is. There's the Sylveon Nidorino variant. Sorry, variant. You spell variant. Let's see. And there it is. Okay. Well, let me catch up with the chat real quickly. Well, my sisters, I'm gonna stick doing all the work. Tails says focused. Yes, gotta be focused when you're driving. I try to stay focused and also cautious. Tails says, please note, any money on a gacha is too much money. I would die to get silver in Masters. Silver is good boy. I wonder, I don't think I've seen him yet. Like, in any of my friends' games either. I hope he's in the game. I really hope he's in the game. I haven't seen evidence yet, but he has to be. And I wouldn't mind seeing like Gladion, though I'm much less hopeful that he's in it because he's not exactly master material, you know? He's just kind of like a punk running around doing his own thing. He doesn't care about that kind of stuff. Same reason why I don't expect to see N in there, because he's not into the battle life, you know? So my main boy right now is I want Blue. Gavin says, I'm probably gonna have to go soon since I need some rest. But it was fun talking to you guys and hanging around. Tail says, I like it. Thank you for the stream. Gavin says, yeah, it was really fun to be here. Tail says, Spiky Evolution. I love them. My Silver is not a good boy. But I still love him. I mean, to be fair, Blue wasn't a good boy either. He grew into it, and Silver could grow into it, like Silver from Folded. He wants to be a trainer in the end, though. Gladion. Oh, well, I didn't play the game. I must have forgotten. It wasn't... I was just kind of observing. But yeah, if he wants to be a trainer, then achieve your goal. Put him in Masters. Tail says, I can see N there trying to learn more about the bonds. Yeah, except it's all about, like, fighting, so I don't know. Like, I'm sure you can explain it if he was in there, and it would be cool to see him there, but... the main cool thing about having all these characters in Masters is they're actually voice acted. Like, I think this is the first time I've heard some of these characters actually speak with actual lines of dialogue, like talking. It's really cool. Blue doesn't exactly sound like what I thought he would, but but thanks for coming, Tails, and if Gavin hasn't completely left yet, thank you for coming, and for anyone else who's watching in the stream, it's been a lot of fun drawing with you guys, and like I said, next month will be Inktober month, and I'll hopefully be able to do, you know, inking on stream if I can get the camera working and if I can find a tripod to buy. But if not, you know, we'll figure something out. I'll probably keep doing Pokemon families this month just to get a few more done so I can keep posting them. And hopefully games sometime soon if you guys are interested. But until next time, hold on, that's my feeling for Maguka. So many of my favorite girls finally have voices, but do not sound like what I thought. But hopefully not bad. Good night, Tails. Good night, everyone. And thank you for coming to the stream. I'll see you next week. Keep your noses clean. Bye-bye.